So, debt. Like, I got myself into a heap of debt, y'all. Being pregnant was, I want to pay off my debt. And so, this is what this video is about, is sharing with you how I got into debt and the plan I've been using to get out of debt.
High volume.
Good dude. I know you love me.
Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Seriah, for those of you who do not know me. In today's video, I am going to be sharing a new exciting journey that I wanted to talk about with you, of what I'm planning to do this year, for the rest of this year, what I've already been doing, but I think to track it more than what I've been doing. So if you don't know, I'm pregnant. Yeah, that video of me updating you on my pregnancy should be up by the time you see this, or after this one. I don't know yet. But basically, I'm pregnant, so I have been reevaluating my life and like what I want to do and all of that stuff, and how I wanted to go about recording videos. I will share all of that in like the update video. So if you haven't seen it, you should go watch it here, or if it's not up yet, go watch it when it's up. But one of the things that I've been working on since being pregnant was, I want to pay off my debt. Like, I got myself into a heap of debt, y'all. And so this is what this video is about, is sharing with you how I got into debt and the plan I've been using to get out of debt. And yeah, so that's what this video is about. And I'm going to take you through on this little fantabulous journey of being debt free. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Okay, so debt. How your girl landed up in debt is interesting. I don't even know how myself. So basically, we're going to just start with me navigating my 20s. So if you don't know about my channel and you're just coming across trying to figure out how I got into debt to begin with, well, basically, if you've been watching me from the beginning, you know I was a medical assistant and I moved into my apartment with no money. My first apartment with no money, long story. And then I ended up transitioning into a new apartment in the middle of the year. So needless to say, I used credit cards all throughout that time, and I racked up a ton of credit card debt because I had just moved into a new apartment. I wasn't making a ton of money at that point, still not making a ton of money, but I was not budgeting really well. Like, I was just using my credit cards, as a lot of people do. And so that's pretty much in short of how I got into credit card debt. But it goes deeper beyond that. Like, I went to court a few times this year. I had to get a lawyer. What else happened? Oh, I had some car issues. Like, literally, I had to pay. It's so frustrating. Like, my previous car, I had like a lot of stuff going on with my car, like oil and like all this stuff. So I had to take it to the shop, and I had to drop $3,000 for them to fix it. And then not only 5 months later, I got into a car accident, and then my car got totaled. So I ended up getting a new car. So now I have a whole new car note, and I was so close to paying off my previous car. Now I have a whole new note. My car note went up like by $100, and then my insurance went up. So just random fluke accidents happened within this year, on top of me getting into credit card debt. And so needless to say, that's what landed me in debt. So if you're wondering how much debt I landed myself in, I landed myself into about like $12,000 worth of debt on my credit cards. And I was just like, how? So it took a lot of grace and patience and prayer for me to like come to terms of acceptance that I even did this, because I was always that person that was like, I'm never going to get into credit card debt. But I did, unfortunately, and that's where we are in my journey. And so ever since I became pregnant, like I always had, or before I was pregnant, I had like set this goal in like and coming into the new year, like one of my big goals was Seriah is going to pay off all her credit card debt. But I said it so loosely because I really was not motivated or determined to pay it off, because like I said, at that time I was just frustrated about even being in debt to begin with. But then I found out I was pregnant, and then I got freaked out because I was like, I'm having this baby and I'm in like $12,000 worth of debt. And so then my goal got a little bit accelerated, where I was like, I have no choice but to pay off this debt in a year. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but we're just going to do it. And so that's kind of what I've been doing throughout my pregnancy, is just focusing on paying off debt. And I've made quite a huge dent, and I'm going to show you today where we are exactly. But yeah, pretty much I had 3 credit cards. I had a Pandora credit card that had about, I think, $1,500 worth of debt on there, because I bought a diamond necklace that I shouldn't have bought myself. And if we're being honest, somebody was supposed to help me pay for that, but no tea, no shade. But anyways, I bought a diamond necklace that I had, so that was like about $1,500 worth of debt. And then I have a Capital One credit card that originally had like, I think, $3,000 worth of dollars. And then I have an American Express credit card that I racked up $4,000. I really don't know how I did that on that one. But yeah, so all in all, it was about originally $8,000 worth of debt. But as we've accrued interest, it ended up being about $12,000 worth of dollars. And so where we are now, I've actually paid off the first Pandora credit card in full. So that one's gone. I paid about half of my Capital One, and we haven't even touched the American Express. So I am actually going to go to the library and pull up the screen to kind of show you my game plan of how I plan to pay this all off before 2024 ends. But I've set a record goal that I am going to pay all my debt off before this baby comes, and I'm going to tell you how I'm going to do this. I'm like a huge fan of showing my bump, but it's there. It kind of like sometimes doesn't look like a bump, sometimes it does, but yeah. Anyways, I have to pee like every 5 freaking seconds. It's so cute. Oh my god. Right now I'm at the library, and you're probably like wondering why I'm at the library to do this. Long story is, I have a computer, a work computer, like all that kind of stuff, but I prefer to go to the library for this because literally, and I mean literally, I don't want to, I'm looking for my library card. One of them has got to be it. No. Okay. Well, that's fun. Look, this is my killer card. Anyways, that's what I was saying or sharing with you. I think this is it. Is this it? Yes, we found it. Okay. I'd rather come to the library to do this because it's such a stressful situation. I do not want to bring any of that drama into my house. So that's kind of like why I prefer to go this route when it comes to looking at all of my bill statements and stuff, because it doesn't use the computer here to pull up the spreadsheet. I'm actually scared to look at this. So I'm actually scared to look at this spreadsheet that I have, because I did this like months ago and then I stopped using it to track it, and I'm scared to see how much debt I accrued since starting this little journey. So I've been at this for a while. I've been at this at least since last July, and we are now in March, so it's been about a year. But all right, so here we are. Budget. Oh, my journey to becoming debt-free. Oh god, I'm so scared. This was July 20. Oh my god, my card has actually increased. Wow. We look at this plan, girl. Actually, where we were in July of last year, I had $4,000 something. I had roughly $3,000 on my Capital One, and this was like my plan. Back then I had 1,000 something on my Pandora card. Oops. Yeah, I had like $1,000 on my Pandora card, and then that was my car note, student loans, and then I owed like a tax return company like $500 for something. This was the plan I created. Freeze, discontinue use of your Amex card immediately, which I have discontinued. Snowball, pay off Capital One first, do some Uber Eats, and use all my checks from that. Did not do this part, but I have been paying this one off. Use Pandora checks towards emergency fund. I don't work there anymore. Have not been developing an emergency fund, honestly. This was my tentative budget and plan. Rent at that time was $770, but I actually moved out of that apartment and my rent increased, like pretty much doubled. So that's kind of like what led to everything else. So yeah, I should actually make note of this. I'm gonna make note of this here. This is actually what led to my increase of credit card debt, because I was paying $770 per month for my rent in July, but I had to move out of that apartment and my rent actually went up to $18.19 monthly. So yeah, that's kind of what happened, and all of this has actually changed. $150 for insurance is now like $190. All of this is different, which I'm not even going to work on this right now. Doing all of this never happened. All of this stopped right when I had to move out in September. So yeah, all of this ended, and this is where we are today. So pretty much, sadly, from where we were originally, my Amex card went up actually by $1,500. And my new plan is not going to pay until I pay off the Capital One card. So this is my Capital One actually increased by $1,000 as well, unfortunately. And so this is my plan to pay it off in 3. So I'll pay this by April 12th, pay that May 10th, pay that June 7th, and my Pandora is the only one that actually got wiped away. The tax return company, the money I owed, got wiped away. And then the Biden, my student loan, I owe $12,000, and I was supposed to resume paying that off in January. As you can see here, part of my plan was to begin to pay off student loan payment in January, but Biden came out with his new save plan, so I was actually able to pause my student loans, and now I pay $0 per month for at least 1 year. So I'm doing a pause, which is great, so I can focus on these credit cards and my car note, which would, like I said, so I plan to pay this off by June. And then as far as my car note, I had to get a new car. We will reevaluate at a later date. So this is where we stand in my finances. So currently I am in total debt of actually, we're gonna put the total debt here so that way we are aware. Hold on one second. As you can see here, my original goal was to pay off my credit cards by Christmas. Did not happen, and that really didn't happen because I had to move apartments, and I went from $770 to $1,819, which meant I can no longer follow the game plan I had. Now that we are here, overall my increase in debt isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, and I actually was in significantly less debt at this time. I still let me see how much debt. I don't think I did a total amount here. Let me see how much I had total. My debt was $8,024.81, which was bad, and now we are at $9,784 $0.38, which is shy of $10,000 worth of debt. But it's not as bad as I thought. I thought I was at 10,000 back then, so we're still under 10K right now in terms of credit card debt. But I hope to at least be at 6,000. My theory is my Amex credit card debt is gonna go to like at least 6,500 before we start paying her off. But once we're paid off with that, then we could work on her, then we could work on everything else. So that is where we are, and I was so scared to look at this, but I'm glad I did. I feel a lot better. We're able to see. I think I handled it pretty well. I was so freaked out to look. I just did not want to face the reality of my situation. But honestly, this is a challenge for me, baby. I'm so excited to, oh my God, if you won't stop. I'm so excited. So as you can see, I've been working on this since last year in July, and we have not made any progress. Well, technically we have made progress because beating myself up originally before I filmed this video, like, why am I not much further along than where I was at the time when I first started this? And it's because life literally happened. Like, I literally moved out of my last apartment where I was only paying half of the rent. Like, I was in a situation where I was living with someone, we're splitting bills, and then to go from splitting bills to then me being the only one responsible, suddenly it just, everything changed, and I was no longer able to follow my plan, and I kind of paused paying my debt off because I had to get acclimated to now paying a full set of bills. And so now I'm in a better situation financially. I can go back to paying off my debt, and so my debt, of course, increased. I'm just glad it didn't increase more than what it has. And yeah, if there's a will, there's a way. God is going to provide for this debt to pay off, and I'm so nervous to not like stick through or go through with my plan. My lashes are kind of coming off, I'm sorry, but I'm so excited. Like, I feel like nothing can stop me now from doing this because my mind is just made up. I'm stuck on it, and I do plan to update you guys each step of the journey so I can let you know like what's working, what's not working, if I'm going according to plan. And yeah, so yeah, we're just pushing through, and yeah. So I will more than likely have a kid with some debt, but hopefully, like, by the time I get to June and I have the summer off, because I'm a teacher, I can just use the summer to really just pay off as much of that credit card as I possibly can. Stay home as much as possible. There's going to be no vacations because your girl has to pay all of that off before we start even implementing daycare and whatever else I have to do once my child is born. But yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be exciting. It's a journey. All in all, this is like a game. Like, all right, you want to throw me $10,000? All right, I'm going to see. I got you. We going to figure it out.